tuta ni Marcos. Bakit ko nasabi na tuta ni Marcos?
Wala na tayong pera.
Kasi sumusunod sino yun? Sumusunod sila kay Trillanes at Marcos. At hindi lang yan. Pinapanindigan pa nila yung kanilang pagsunod
Yes.
Grabe.
kay Marcos at kay Trillanes.
Grabe.
And so,
Namigay sa palungon si Trillanes.
this is not about justice. This is about politics in the Philippines. Because who was the first to be sent to detention? President Marcos. Next, President Duterte. Next, pwede na. Parang wala na akong gagawin mo. Pakulong nila yan siya. President Duterte. Who was next?
Marco.
Next. Marcoleta. Next.
Bong Revilla.
Harry Roque. Bong Revilla, Jinko Estrada, Mike Defensor.
Yes.
You see the pattern?
Yes.
So this is all about politics. Marcos supporting ICC, ICC supporting
Money.
Marcos.
Money.
If the ICC right now is fighting for its life because America, the United States, and its powerful allies are going after ICC.
Yes.
If the ICC wants the world to respect the institution, they should first know how to respect the law.
Yes.
Because this is a time in the history of the world where the motto of institutions is bend the law.
Bend the law.
Bend the law for your interest. Kapag ako ay tinatanong, ano ang tingin ko sa desisyon na nilabas ng ICC? Ang sinasabi ko lagi, walang basihan sa batas. Ano ba ang pinagbasihan nila? Libro ng isang tao na hindi mo naman alam kung ano ang kredibilidad?
Correct.
Suporta ng mga tao. Siyempre, dahil dating head of state yan, dating pangulo yan, minamahal yan ng marami. Siyempre, meron talaga tayong ipapakita na suporta. Ako, anak, kapamilya, siyempre, magagalit ako sa ginawa sa aking ama at sa isang Pilipino na ninakaw, kinuha, kinidnap doon sa Pilipinas para ihatid dyan sa ICC. Let us start in the year 2017. In 2017, a lawyer submitted a communication to the International Criminal Court. And this was supplemented by a communication by former Senator Trillanes and another person. That was in 2017. In 2018, the court took it under consideration. Between 2017 until 2021, there was an investigation, no investigation, put on hold. Let us start first with the complainant. Who is Trillanes? Trillanes is the person behind the Oakwood Mutiny and the Manila Peninsula Siege.
Yes.
Which was against who? It was against President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo.
Arroyo.
Trillanes stood on the platform of anti-corruption against Arroyo. We do not know the dealings, the negotiations behind the mutiny and the siege. That is not discussed publicly. When did we next see Trillanes? We saw him next in the Jejomar Binay attack. Vice President Binay was a candidate, a presumptive candidate for the 2016 election. And then what did he do? He attacked Vice President Binay on the platform of anti-corruption.
Corruption.
But you must remember, he never attacked President Aquino on the platform of anti-corruption. And you remember the DAP, the pork barrel scam of the Aquino administration. And where was Trillanes then? Quiet. Because we do not know how much, where, how, when the negotiations happened. When did you see him again? Trillanes, hear about him again. You heard about him in 2016 because President Duterte was the front runner. In April 2016, President Duterte was already the front runner of the presidential elections. Everyone forgot about Mar Rojas, the candidate of Trillanes. Everyone was focused on Rodrigo Duterte, including Trillanes. This was the first time you heard about EJK, DDS, bank accounts, billions in the bank accounts. This was in 2016. In 2017, he filed the communication in ICC. And if you can remember, President Duterte never did anything against Trillanes, against the witnesses of Trillanes during the Senate hearing. He presented Matubato, he presented Las Cañas, and he claimed so many things about the Davao Death Squad. And what did President Duterte do? He told everyone, pabayaan nyo yan. It is his right to speak. It is his freedom to talk about the Davao Death Squad. So that is... Okay na ng payong, sir.
Ito tissue, ma'am.
May panyo ako, ma'am.
Ay, sorry.
Girl Scouts.
So that was Trillanes. That is Trillanes. Against Gloria Arroyo, anti-corruption. Against Binay, anti-corruption. Against Rodrigo Duterte, anti-corruption. EJK. But do you hear him speak of anti-corruption when it comes to President Aquino and President Marcos?
No!
Makes you question. What is the anti-corruption platform for? Whose interest is he serving?
Yellow.
This is yellow, pink, red. Lahat ng kulay, maliban lang sa green. Lucky charm. At maliban sa green at black. Diba? He is quiet when negotiations happen for his interest. But if negotiations are for the interest of, against the interest of Trillanes, he is noisy. So that is 2017 and the background of the person who sent the communication to ICC. Now here comes ICC. yes, we take it into consideration, and then yes, we will investigate. We will put on hold the investigation through the years, and then come 2021, we will investigate. And who is the person? Who was the prosecutor who finally defended the investigation? It was Prosecutor Karim Khan, who was dismissed for an entirely different issue, but there was one issue about Karim Khan in relation to the case of President Rodrigo Duterte. And what was it? He had conflict of interest because his previous work was representation of the victims of supposed EJK under the Commission on Human Rights in the Philippines. That was his conflict of interest. But did ICC say categorically that you have conflict of interest? They did not. They just said that the appearance of impropriety excludes him from this case. But how can you give credibility to an investigation by someone who represented the victims, and now you're saying he must be investigated and prosecuted? That is clear conflict of interest. It muddles the entire investigation. That is our complainant, that is our prosecutor. We go to jurisdiction. ICC said, we have jurisdiction because we took the complaint under consideration before the Philippines withdrew as a member of the International Criminal Court. And what does that mean? It means that if you take it under consideration before withdrawal of a country, there will always be an open complaint, open under consideration, open investigation through the years, even if the ICC will not act on it. And is that justified? Of course not, because it will be a perpetual investigation. There must be an end to the perceived liability, to the under consideration, to the investigation. Otherwise, it will be 300 years from now, assuming this ICC
Still exist.
will exist for 300 years, there will be an open, under consideration, complete communication inside the ICC. That is what the countries who are withdrawing now from the ICC should watch out. Because if there is something under consideration there, even if they withdraw 50 years from now, kung buhay pa yung ICC, they can file a case.
Let's go.
That is why we have been saying you have no jurisdiction.
No.
2 years has passed since the withdrawal of the Philippines from the ICC before any formal inquiry was done. If that is allowed, then there will be no end to the ICC going after sovereign nations. That is jurisdiction. We go to how the ICC disregarded how former President Rodrigo Duterte was kidnapped from the Philippines. They say, it doesn't matter to us how he was taken, where he was taken, by what means he was taken. What matters to us was that he was delivered to The Hague and endorsed to the ICC. If this is about justice, then why does it allow injustice to happen to people who are respondents of communications, of complaints inside ICC? Next, we go to interim release, the release of President Duterte. There are three things in the Rome Statute that are to be considered before a release can be considered or granted to a respondent. First is that he is not a flight risk. Second is that he does not, will not, cannot obstruct the ongoing investigation. And third, he cannot continue to commit crimes under the ICC jurisdiction. You saw President Duterte being pushed, pulled outside of the room, pushed into a plane. Is that a person who is a flight risk? He cannot even walk 3 steps and fall to the ground. In fact, how many times has he slipped and hit his head in detention? No one can count anymore. And no one is talking about it.
Yawa, mga
Because why? President Duterte is the Asian poster boy in answer to the attacks that ICC is only going after the black race.
Yes! Mga animal.
He is a flight risk because of the support of the Filipinos around the world. Is that an assessment, a correct measure of a flight risk? No. Second, he will cannot continue to interfere or obstruct any investigation. Investigation started when? When he was president. The witnesses, Matubato, Las Cañas, when? When he was president. And what did he do? Nothing at all. He allowed the ICC to say whatever it wants, to do whatever it wants, even when he was president. When he was former president, I told him, the ICC is doing an investigation. The investigators are coming in and out of the country. We have proof of immigration records. And what did he say to me? Pasagdi na sila. Di na sila pwede manghilabot sa atuang nasod. Pasagdi na sila magsulod gawas dinhi sa atuang nasod. And I knew that something was happening because I hear it from the office of the former speaker, Romualdez. And so I put it on record. What did I do? I wrote the president. Why is the ICC continuing the investigation inside the Philippines? And then he said, what did he say? He said, we will not cooperate in any shape or form with the ICC because it is an infringement in our sovereignty. On that point, he was correct. Because our judicial courts are functioning. We can go to court, file a complaint, the judge can hear it, the judge can decide, the judge can put you to jail easily. There is no breakdown of the judicial system in the Philippines. And so, any interference of the ICC is an affront to our sovereignty. And that is the only correct thing that Marcos did or Marcos said about ICC, that letter. But did he follow through on what he said?
Pwede maglagpas. Kasi hindi na pwede maglagpas.
He presented a letter, he released an official letter, but his left hand was doing other negotiations.
Still na lang sa imong place.
He was doing exactly the opposite of his letter. He was allowing the investigation to happen, supported by the House of Representatives and Antonio Trillanes.
Yes.
And so we go to the corruption in the investigation. Former soldiers, former employees of Congressman Zaldico already executed affidavits saying that they were told to exchange pesos to dollars because this will be delivered to the ICC investigators through Trillanes. And this is not hearsay.
No.
Because the person who did the delivery, who received the instructions, who went to the money exchange and exchanged for dollars, who delivered the money was the same person who talked to Zaldico.
Yes.
And so, how do we characterize Trillanes and Marcos in relation to ICC? Yes, they are traitors to a Filipino and to the country. But more than that, ang ICC ay tuta ni Trillanes at ni Marcos.
Correct!
Yun yun.
Sorry.
Because the ICC has no other case except for the case of President Rodrigo Duterte. And they found what? And they found Marcos, Trillanes, and money
Yes.
in the Philippine case.
Shame on ICC.
Maleta
Baleta ka!
ang pinag-uusapan dito. So where is the justice in all this? There is no justice for the Philippines, there is no justice for the Filipinos, and there is no justice for former President Rodrigo Duterte.
Sacrificial lamb!
That is true, ma'am. He's the poster boy right now of ICC. The one and only. Oh, we have an Asian now. We're done with the blacks. Let's go to the Asians. To hell with the whites. We cannot go after them. Let's go after this one person who was delivered by Marcos to us.
Bangag!
It's proven!
So that is the complainant, Trillanes, his cohort, Marcos, the jurisdiction, the investigator, the investigation.
All around!
Do you want to go to the evidence?
Yes! It's proven! Yes.
What are they saying? They are saying there was what? How many? How many did the media portray?
30,000.
30,000. And then it was reduced to 13,000. And now it is how many? 34? 32 counts of murder that amounts to, they say, crimes against humanity.
That's BS!
The government has a policy of zero tolerance for illegal drugs. The Philippine government has a policy of zero tolerance for illegal drugs. How did the administration of President Duterte implement this policy? They created the drug war. That is the program. That is the anti-drug program. It is called drug war. Tukhang. Now, the implementation of a program, whether it was good or bad, is not a crime against humanity. It may be good governance or bad governance. It is the same. It is the same with how President Marcos is running the country right now. It can be good governance or it is clearly bad governance. That is not a crime against the Filipino population.
Exactly.
How a program is implemented, whether there were mistakes, errors, it was a bad program, is not a crime against humanity. That is the crime that they are saying that President Duterte has done to the Filipino people. And they cannot even say right now if the victims are truly victims of the drug war. Because gun violence is so common in the Philippines. I have a husband. My husband has a mistress. I can hire a gunman for 5,000 pesos to kill the mistress. That is how, for 5,000 pesos. That is how bad gun violence in the Philippines is. And that is, again, yes, EJK. So how can you say that all your listed victims, all your listed complainants are supposed victims of the drug war? It can be that it is a crime against passion. It can be murder because of a third party in a relationship. It can be plain hold up. So how can they say now that all the victims there are victims of the drug war that is supposed to be a crime against humanity? So that is the crime. And what are they doing right now? This is 1 year past the day President Duterte arrived in The Hague. How many years? 1 year and
4 months.
1 year and 4 months. And nothing has happened in the case. It is an unjust delay and unjust detention of President Rodrigo Duterte. Mainly because he does not post a flight risk. He will never impede, obstruct any investigation. We saw that already when he was president, when he was not president. And third, he will not continue to commit crimes kuno. Because that was a program during his administration, an implementation of a policy by government. How can an implementation of a policy by government be a crime against humanity?
Correct. Uwi na tayo, tay.
That is the ICC and the case of Rodrigo Roa Duterte. They are holding an 81-year-old who cannot make his own bed, who cannot even clean his own room, who has bed sores, who has so many
My God.
aches and pains because of old age.
Yawa.
For who? For the reputation of ICC? For Marcos? For Trillanes? For money?
For all of them.
For what? For whose interest is the ICC serving now?
Pera. Money.
That is the case of Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He should be released, and he should be released immediately.
It should be justice in the Philippines, not here.
Yes, that is true. If we want to go after supposed EJK, supposed murders, we can easily file it in Philippine courts.
Palitan mo si Marcos! Soon!
Ma'am, sandali i-compartmentalize natin yung ating messaging. Today is about ICC. Yung sa London is about the country. We will not talk about Marcos BBM today. We will only talk about Marcos in relation to ICC. Utak ni Marcos. Bakit ko nasabi? Natuta ni Marcos.
Wala na tayong pera!
Kasi sumusunod sino yun? Sumusunod sila kay Trillanes at Marcos. At hindi lang yan. Pinapanindigan pa nila yung kanilang pagsunod
Yes.
Grabe.
kay Marcos at kay Trillanes.
Grabe.
And so,
Namigay sa palungon si Trillanes.
this is not about justice. This is about politics in the Philippines. Because who was the first to be sent to detention? President Marcos. Next, President Duterte. Pwede na. Parang wala na akong gagawin mo. Pakulong nila yan siya. President Duterte. Who was next?
Marco.
Next. Marcoleta. Next.
Bong Revilla.
Harry Roque. Bong Revilla, Jinko Estrada, Mike Defensor.
Yes.
You see the pattern? So this is all about politics. Marcos supporting ICC, ICC supporting
Money.
Marcos.
Money.
If the ICC right now is fighting for its life because America, the United States, and its powerful allies are going after ICC. If the ICC wants the world to respect the institution, they should first know how to respect the law. Because this is a time in the history of the world where the motto of institutions is bend the law. bend the law for your interest and for the interest of your allies. Mga kababayan, ang lahat ng ginagawa natin ay para sa Diyos, sa bayan, at para sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino.